We are now 4 months into 2026, the first quarter of the Paramount era, and 2026 for the UFC has now commenced. In this video, I'm going to go through every single fight card which has gone down so far this year. There's 10 in total, starting with Gaethje Pimlet all the way up to last week where we had Moicano Duncan. We've got UFC 327 this week. I've already made predictions for that, so check that out if you haven't already. Hopefully that can be towards the upper echelon of this tier list, but I'm going to go through every single card which has gone down so far this year, rank them from S to D. I'm going to go through all the key fights, the memorable fights. We have to factor in those and factor in the ones that were shit as well. So yeah, let's start off with Gaethje Pimlet. And for me, I'm putting Gaethje versus Pimlet, the first card of the year, into the A tier. Reason is, the main event, yes, it arguably shouldn't have been Gaethje Pimlet. Yes, it probably should have been Max Holloway, Charles, Arman, any of them three really instead of those two. But you cannot lie and said that the fight was entertaining. The fight was very entertaining. Pimlet got the shit beaten out of him for 4 rounds. One round three, it was a clear 49. No, 49-46. So it was a competitive fight. Arguably, he poked him in the eye twice. Could have had a point taken away. You see points get taken off in these other cards. But I thought the card in total was decent. We had a very good main event. O'Malley did okay against Song Yudong. Didn't get the finish they were looking for. Waldo versus Derek Lewis is pretty funny. Derek Lewis just sat down later on the floor, just ate the ground and pound shots from Waldo. Easy win for Waldo. He's now got a big fight with Volkov coming up. Arnold Allen arguably beat Jun Silva. It was a questionable fight. I thought for sure that could have gone either way, 29-28. Umar Nurmagomedov sent everyone to sleep by laying on a washed old Davison Figueiredo for 3 straight rounds. Teba Gautier arguably got fraud checked. I disagree with that. How can you get fraud checked when you win clearly 30-27 just because you didn't get the finish? Charles Johnson got KO'd, which is always beautiful to see. Fuck Charles Johnson. We hate Charles Johnson. Krylov got a nice KO win. The rest of that, the card is pretty mid. Josh Hockett made his first appearance into a crowded arena. He is taking on Curtis Blades. That'll be interesting. I picked him to beat Curtis Blades. But overall, I thought the card was solid. A couple of decent finishes. It got a bit stale in the middle, but Gaethje versus Pimlet. No, you know what? I'm going to put it B. I'm right. I've changed my mind. The ending was good. The main event fight was good, but in the middle it was pretty shit. You know, we had a good start with some good KOs early. Hockett and I can't remember who else. Bakauskas. No, Krylov KO'd Bakauskas. Decent KOs at the start. The card got a bit stale up until the main event. O'Malley kind of disappointed. Umar disappointed. A lot of disappointing fights. Allen versus Silva was solid, but there was no KO really. That was the only other decent fight on the card by Gaethje Pimlet. So for that reason, I'm going to put B tier. I'm changing my mind. Next up, UFC 325. Volkanovski versus Lopez. And for me, this card is going in the B tier as well. If it lets me, okay, it's not letting me move it. What's going on? Oh, what's going on? B. There we go. B tier for Volkanovski Lopez. I thought the main event was atrocious. That should have never been the main event. Should have been Evloev or Murphy. We've heard that a million times. But the actual fight itself, I thought was very boring. I thought Volk clearly won, but it wasn't 50-45. It was clear 49-46, 48-47, arguably. But disappointing main event, pretty boring. Volkanovski just popped the jab and the leg kicks on Lopez. Lopez has no fight IQ, couldn't get near him. That's not really Volkanovski's fault, but the chin's worse. You know, Volkanovski's going to fight smart. Evloev could beat him with the grappling. We saw Lopez have a bit of success, but who knows. Co-main event, Hooker BSD, that was a pretty good scrap. Hooker just threw himself on bottom position for some reason against BSD. Good submission finish for BSD over Hooker. Fiziev Ruffy was a good scrap. Ruffy looks very fucking good. I mean, I don't know why they've given him Michael Chandler, but Ruffy just dominated Fiziev. Nasty KO. Salkilled had a good win. Incredible grappling skills he showed against Jamie Malarkey. A bottom barrel guy, Jamie Malarkey, nevertheless. But he did look good. And the funniest fight, arguably, this year, we had Taliesin Teixeira versus Tatu Ivasa on this card. What a fight that was. Two true athletes in the heavyweight division throwing down. That was a good fight. A couple of good prospects got finishes, like Billy Alacala. What's that guy's name that trains with Izzy? Cam Ralston. And then a fight on this card that pissed me off, Mikalev versus Elliott. I'm a big Oban Elliott fan. Was completely winning the first round and a half, just outstriking Mikalev, then decided to take him down and got nasty sub. Got submitted by Mikalev. Mikalev isn't that good. That's not Cope. I just like Oban Elliott. I thought he was clearly winning that fight. And yeah, I'm putting it would have been higher, but you know, the main event was pretty shit, and there was a load of bums on the early prelims for the road to the UFC, so it would have been A tier if the main event was a decent scrap. Maybe Lopez got a KO win, it was a war or something. But solid card overall. I'm going to put it in the B tier. Could arguably be C. I'm going to keep it in the B tier for now. Next card, Bautista versus Oliveira, an Apex card. However, not to sound like Joe Rogan, but I actually enjoy the Apex cards sometimes. Cards like this, and obviously not the boring WMMA main events like Blanchfield Barber. I know that wasn't actually Blanchfield Barber, but when they're actually decent scraps, I don't mind it. Bautista Oliveira for me, I'm putting that in the C tier. Not actually an awful card. We expect mid shit from the Apex cards. However, there were some good scraps on the card. Bautista Oliveira was a very good fight. Nasty submission win for Bautista. Showed great grappling. Exposed and fraud checked Vinicius Oliveira. He's a bum. The Gooch got a good win over Albazi. He's now in the title picture. Going to get that fight against Manel Cap. Almeida, the reason it's not higher is because of that terrorist of the sport, Jayton Almeida, who's fortunately been cut. Absolutely stinker of a fight versus Kunyev. Kunyev is just as bad as well. Olazachuk and Barrio had a good fight, decent war. That was fight of the month, I'm pretty sure. That was completely disgusting. We'll get on to what should have been the fight of the month on the UFC London card. G Masamoto and Basha had a decent scrap. Jacoby got KO over Walker. Donchenko beat Morono. Vakretnov KO'd the Dodo Bird. And the only other really memorable thing on that card was Gafurov tapping in the last second of Viklac. For that reason, I'm going to put in the C tier. It's an Apex card, you know what I mean? They're not expected to be A and S. Some decent fights, just no real name value on these cards. Which, I'm not putting a D tier because there was some entertaining scraps. The main event was good. Gafurov, Viklac was good. Horiguchi was good. Yeah, solid card, but no higher than C really. Just mid. Perfectly mid for C. That's what you expect. However, Strickland Hernandez, for me, I'm putting that in the B tier as well. Incredible main event. Strickland fraud check. It was fuck it. He did fraud check Hernandez. Stuffed all the takedowns, outstruck him on the feet. Used Hernandez's weakness. Got a nasty body shot. A hype win. That was a massive fight. Lots of hype going into that with the shit talk Strickland brings. The amount of people that just hate Sean Strickland in general. People are always going to watch Sean Strickland fight. He may beat Hamza Chimaev. But completely shut him down. Got a nasty TKO win. And also, in my opinion, there was 3 fights on the card that saved the card. The final 3, that Strickland Hernandez, Uros Medic just destroying Jeff Neal, a nasty KO win. That was very impressive. And also, Marcos Acosta got a nasty spinning back kick. It was a spinning back kick KO over Danny Ige. Danny Ige had never been KO'd before. That was impressive. Sergey Spivak got an upset win against Delija. Just outstruck Delija, which is disappointing to see. We usually associate Spivak with being a shit striker. Jacoby Smith got a nasty KO win over Josiah Harrell. That guy already had brain damage. Probably got some even more. Referee was blind as shit. Just let Jacoby Smith beat the shit out of Harrell. Zachary Reese and Mikael Pereira had a good fight. APAC gave Pereira that win. Average agent. Carlos Leal just destroyed Julian Jaquani. Great gym from Julian Jaquani. That was a good scrap. As we've seen lately, what's his name? Idris is a drug cheated against O'Day Osborne. Jocelyn Edwards got a nasty finish against Nora Khan. I think she broke her collarbone, arm, or shoulder, something like that. And Joe Levitt got a nasty upset win over Yeda Deval. Everyone was picking Yeda Deval. I'm pretty sure he was like a minus 1,000 favourite. But Jordan Levitt got an upset win. Yeah, for me, a decent card overall. The end of it carried. You know what? No, it's not that bad to be in C. The stakes were too high for it to be in C. Strickland, Neal, Strickland, Medic, and Marcos Acosta saved that card. Some decent scraps before it, like Jacoby Smith, Leal, Edwards. But I enjoyed that card. Very good, very nice to see Sean Strickland get in the win column. I'm a big Sean Strickland fan. Whether you hate the guy outside of the cage, you have to respect that he's a quality middleweight fighter and has a decent chance of beating Chimaev. People are just picking against him because they don't like him. The next card, Moreno versus Kavanagh. For me, this card was very mid. The main event was good, Moreno Kavanagh, and for that reason, I'm going to chuck it in the C tier. Main event for me saved this from dumping this in the D tier. Moreno versus Kavanagh was a very good fight to watch. As a UK guy, it's nice to see Lona Kavanagh upset everyone. I picked Moreno. I didn't think Kavanagh would do it. I wanted to pick him. And I was just like, short notice. Everything was against Kavanagh, which has made it even more impressive for him to do that to Brandon Moreno. Dominated him on the feet the first 2 rounds, 2.5. Then Moreno just tried to fucking Marab Max, smudge him, hold him against the cage. Terrorist performance from Brandon Moreno in his hometown against an opponent on short notice. Absolutely embarrassing from Moreno, but very, very good from Kavanagh. Completely dominated, arguable GOAT of the division. Very impressive from Kavanagh. Co-main event, Vera Martinez was mid. Martinez just ran away from Vera, just picked him off at range. Very boring. Chito Vera's pretty shit now. The funniest fight on that card was definitely Zelhuber versus Bobby Green. Bobby Green just chinned Zelhuber, outstruck him for 2.5 rounds. They're finally putting out his misery and just fraud checked, but he was already fraud checked. Zelhuber isn't good, but people still picked him. I still picked him. I wish I didn't. Bobby Green got a nasty KO win over Zelhuber. Other Mexican guy, it was just full of Mexicans that are pretty mid. Edgar Chavez, Felipe Buenas, that was mid. Santiago Luna got a decent win. He's a decent undefeated prospect, but that was pretty boring. Emmanuel Rodriguez beat Kevin Borjas. He got dropped in the first. That was pretty mid. Gandra got an absolute layup of a lifetime, just destroyed Medina. Rest in peace, Medina. He's been cut. Javier Reyes got a decent win over De Andrade. He got dropped before that as well. Actually, you know what? I might put this in B. There's a lot of finishes, to be fair. A lot of layups, you could say. I'm going to put it in the B tier. You know what? Fuck it. I'm putting the B tier. Aileen Perez got a win. She's pretty. She's not. Yeah, she just got a nice ass. Penis got a win over Schultz. Turin got a debut win. That was a decent fight. That was a good war for WMMA standards. Yeah, a lot of decent KOs. Main event carried. The co-main event was pretty mid. The main card was alright. It's just full of Mexicans that got layups because the Mexicans suck in this sport, to be honest. Not to sound like Colby Covington. But the Mexicans are pretty shit in this sport. Brandon Moreno is now washed, and hopefully, they feed him to a prospect. There's not really many prospects in this division, so I don't really give a shit what they do to Brandon Moreno. But I was very impressed with Lona Kavanagh. That was a good card overall, to be fair. Solid B, maybe C. I don't know. I can't really choose between B and C. I'll just stick it in B because of the UK bias to Lona Kavanagh. Oh dear. Next card, UFC 326. You know what? Hold on one sec. My notes. I revise. Not revise, I plan. And for this shit, I'm putting this shit in the D tier. Worst card. Worst numbered event of the year. Worst card of the year. Absolute fucking stinker. I'm not hating on Charles Oliveira. He's a very good grappler. But you cannot tell me that was entertaining. I like grappling, but if you're just going to lay there inside control, half guard, full guard, on the back, just camping it out, yes, Max Holloway had incredible defense. Fucking go for ground and pound, take some risk. You may lose a position, you may get the finish. Just like JDM, Islam, what's his fucking name? DDP versus Hamzat. Fucking boring. Oliveira, that's no BMF performance, bro. Fuck the BMF belt. The BMF belt's been shit since 300. Holloway got an easy win against Poirier. Poirier was very retired, old. And the BMF belt shouldn't even fucking exist. Because Holloway won the BMF belt off Gaethje and then got tuned by Topuria. So technically Topuria is the BMF, but I don't like the BMF belt. Boring main event. Co-main event was just as mid. RDR Bahalio, that was mid. They're both shit. Just Bahalio did enough defending the RDR takedowns, got an easy win. Rob Font, Raul Rosas Jr. Raul Rosas Jr. is a good grappler, just out-grappled him. Just like Oliveira, boring, just laying there. No risk to lose position, no risk to finish. The funny fight, though, Drew Dober, via racism, just chinned, what's his fucking name? Johnson. That was a good fight. Johnson was winning the first round out of nowhere. Drew Dober, Officer Dober, turns the body cam off, gets a nasty KO win over Johnson. The only two decent fights. The other decent fight was Obama. Gregory Rodriguez, just nasty chinning. What's his name? Bruno Ferreira. I think it's Bruno Ferreira. Bruno Ferreira. I know his last name's Ferreira. There's a lot of Ferreiras. Ferreira, nasty KO in the first round. He's a decent prospect. So there was only two really good fights in that card. Obama versus Ferreira and Dober Johnson. Garbrandt, that was pretty fun. It wasn't a good fight. He lost the first 2 rounds, got dick kicked about 3 times in the third. The judges took 2 points off and got Garbrandt a robbery win. He's washed as fuck. Garbrandt just got dick kicked, mean mogged when he was holding his dick in the timeout, and then fuck all for the rest. Zhao Long, whatever his name is, he got robbed. What else was that? To be fair, Montez, Ilia Toporia's little brother as well. That was a decent fight, but it's against Ricky Tershos, bro. That's expected. I may have picked Ricky Tershos. But good performance from Montez. Overall, this card was shit. The only other upset was Rodolfo Bellato just chilling some can. Very disappointing. Not a BMF card. Oliveira Holloway sucked. Bahalio RDR sucked. Rob Font Ralph Jr. sucked. 3 decent fights on that card. Top 2 of those little brother, Montez, Dolbot, and Gregory Rodriguez. Shit card. Very underwhelming. Get rid of the BMF belt. Fuck it. Next up, Josh Emmett versus Kevin Vallejos. And for me, I really like this card. Another Apex card which delivered. And for that reason, I'm putting it in the B tier. A lot of B tiers, I know. But main event was good, as expected. Kevin Vallejos just went out there, destroyed Josh Emmett, did it in the first round. No one really does that to Josh Emmett on the feet. Yes, Yusuf Salal subbed him, but we saw Topuria take him to a fucking decision. In very impressive performance from Josh Emmett from Kevin Vallejos. Took advantage of the spotlight he's been given and the chance. Very impressive with Kevin Vallejos. Co-main event, yeah, that was pretty mid. Lemos just got out grappled by Julian Robertson. However, that is not why this is here. The rest of the card was absolutely, absolutely, fucking word, absolutely stupendous. Philly Delgado was a great scrap. Arguably, Philly won that fight. They gave it to Delgado. Imagine having a scrap with Philly and Delgado. Nathaniel Wood would never. Nathaniel Wood, the daddy of both of them two. Very hard to it got his jaw broken by Amar Mahiki. AI CGI loss. We definitely still can't. Harry Hardwick still can't eat. Has to fucking drink his shit still. That was depressing to see. Ion Kutalaba got a good submission win over Umar Sai. Haha, Umar Sai. French prospects suck. The only decent French fighter is BSD and Freziam, and Freziam ain't even French. What else was there? Charles Johnson robbed Bruno Silva and then called for a title shot. Fuck Charles Johnson up. You get slided out for the rest of your career. Fluked Van and Kavanagh. Oral by molested Chris Curtis. That was pretty entertaining. No, it fucking wasn't. Asplund got destroyed. Asplund versus Petrino was a great fight. Asplund, fair play, good chin, just got destroyed by Petrino. Asplund will never beat anyone decent, sad to see. He's a fun fighter though. Balaji nearly died to this prospect Sosa. That was a good fight. Balaji just took him down. Had him in some like triangle for the first whole round, then Sosa just chinned him in the second. Balaji very mid. Eric Anders, rest in peace, Eric Anders, retired in the Apex on the early prelims. What a way to go out. Beat Brett Tavares. And Bia Mosquito got a submission win. So overall, it's a good card. That's why I'm putting the beat here. Lots of finishes, lots of memorable moments, lots of funny fights. I really enjoyed this card. Sadly, Harry Hardwick lost on. We will be back. Minus set that major comeback. Oh dear. Next card, UFC London. I was there in the flesh, live. Nice little 600, 500 pounds spent on 2 tickets for that shit. I'm putting it in the C tier. Absolute mid again. It was better than last year's. Last year's would have been the D tier. Evlo versus Murphy was a good scrap. I did think Evloev won. People say Murphy won. It's just UK bias. Evloev clearly won. 4 rounds, 3 rounds at minimum. Fuck the point. That was a shit BS point take. Didn't actually mean to kick Murphy in the dick twice. I don't even like Evloev, but Evloev clearly won that. They weren't intentional. Intentional was fucking Cyril Gardner, mother of eye pokes. You could argue Murphy won the first 2 rounds, but for sure Evloev won the last 3. It could have been a draw at worst, but are we really going to give that? If it was a draw, that just means Jean Silva gets a title fight. I'd rather see Evloev. I fucking hate Jean Silva. I'd rather see Evloev fight than Jean Silva. Good fight. Evloev should have grappled earlier, then he would have clearly won. But Murphy did alright. That was a decent scrap. The co-main event, Luke Riley as well was okay. Luke Riley didn't get the KO he was after. Outstruck as well for 5 straight rounds, 3 straight rounds. MVP versus Sam Patterson. That was the best fight I've ever seen in my life. What a fight that was. So good. Action from start to finish. MVP rocking Sam Patterson. And Sam Patterson was rocking him back. It was fucking incredible, man. I love that fight so much. Iwo Baroneski got a good highlight reel finish, which was expected. Justifying his spot on the main card. Curtis Campbell got fraud checked. Why the fuck was that on the main card? Why the fuck did he get custom shorts? Mason Jones put on fight of the year, arguably against Axel Solo. Robbed of fight of the month. Fucking, they gave it to Barrio versus Oleg Zaitchuk. Fair play, that was a decent fight. But Mason Jones, Axel Solo was an absolute war. Nathaniel Wood silenced the doubters. Crafty performance against, what's his fucking name? What's that bum's name? Lucien Keita just outstruck him. You know, Lucien Keita doesn't actually know how to set up his punches. He just goes in there looking for the KO. Great win from Nathaniel Wood. Mario Pinto stunk the arena out. Contradictor stunk the arena out. Going to war with Tricoli. Louis Sutherland got chinned by Precic. No. And the Shem Show got exposed. Was absolutely shit against the bottom of the barrel guy. Kareem Al Sawadi, he is shit. And Chanel Dyer got a nice TKO win. To be fair, the card was alright. I'm not putting any higher than C. Absolutely stinking. Feature fight, Patterson versus MVP. A couple of fights before that was shit. Contra Vickers, Pinto. Not really many finishes. CLD did alright against Delidze, but Delidze's a cockroach. He will survive. He'll just never beat you. Yeah, pretty disappointing. Maybe could be B, but for the shit and the feature fight and a couple of stinkers in between, I'm putting it in the C tier. I did not enjoy that card. Massively overpriced tickets. We will never get a fight like Volkov versus Aspinall ever again. Sad to see. UK MMA kind of sucks at the moment. We only really have Aspinall and Kavanagh. Nathaniel Wood's on a decent win streak, but he's never going to really beat anyone good, is he? Let's be honest. As much as I love the guy, UK MMA has fallen off. Paddy Pimlet, he's never touching gold. He had his chance, got shut down by old man Gaethje. But the card was alright. C tier at best. No high. Next up, Adesanya Pie fight. It happened 2 weeks ago. For me, I really enjoyed this card. I am putting this in the A tier. Extremely satisfying seeing Israel Adesanya lose again. Sad to see though, because the guy was champ, but major downfall. But I don't really care. I'd never liked Adesanya that much. Joe Pyfer did his job, made it wild, got the submission win. Not is it submission? No, TKO. Took him to the ground. Adesanya can't grapple. The guy has never been able to grapple. Just never fought anyone good to expose it. Jan Blachowicz exposed him. That's it. You just, I don't even think Adesanya's washed. I just think the middleweight division has leveled up. He was the best at the time. Now he's just mid, like number 8, number 7 in the world. Good fight though. Pyfer did the job. Exciting fight. Alexa Grasso killed Macy Barber pretty much twice. Just knocked her out and then choked her out just to make sure. That was entertaining. Chiesa got his retirement fight against the Dodo Bird. Wrapped him up in a sub pretty quickly. That was okay. I guess we didn't have to sit through 15 minutes of Michael Chiesa jabbing at range. That was beautiful to see. Larry Douglas. I really like Larry Douglas. One of the best prospects in the UFC at the moment. Destroyed Juliana Rosa. He actually knows how to throw a jab. Pardon me. I was impressed with Larry Douglas against Juliana Rosa. No, Belgaruri, another good prospect, had a good win against the overhyped prospect. His fucking name, Abdul Malik, exposed his lack of striking and actually showed good takedown defense. I'm impressed with Belgaruri. I like Belgaruri. Terrence McKinney got a good KO win. I like Terrence McKinney. Musayev, robbed, cheating, dirty bastard, average Middle East fighter. Grabbed the cage and headbutted Bahamondes. Chase Hooper exposed that we already knew Chase Hooper couldn't strike, but I didn't think it was that bad, bro. If you can defend a Chase Hooper takedown, you will beat him. The guy can't strike. Tybura versus Fortune. Both guys technically won. They got the fucking scorecards wrong. That was pretty funny. Overall, the fight was boring though. Casey O'Neill got KO over what's her name? Fernandez. That's the woman that beat Wayne Kong. She did fluke her. Navo Sterling actually got a TKO win against Bruno Lopez. That was decent. And Simone Yanez had a good scrap, and the judges fucked it up and gave it a draw. So overall, I really enjoyed that card from bottom to top. Stacked fights all over. The only brawling fight really was Tybura versus Fortune. However, that's what you're going to get with fat blobs in the heavyweight division. Heavyweight division's fucked by the top 5 guys. I really like the card. Nice to see a big prospect winning Pyfer. It'd have been pretty bad for the division if Adesanya had gone out there, jabbed and leg kicked him for a fight to 5 rounds and won a decision. I really like this card. Maybe it's a bit too high. I'm just going to be honest. None of these cards this year have been that good. There's been no real S tier cards. They've all been okay. Bar 326. UFC's kind of slacking, There's not really many stars. And when you get a star, yes, Josh Hockett may be a cunt and a bit fucking retarded, but at least he's trying to hype this up. These fights, there's no hype. There's no animosity. The only fight really on this list that had hype was Strickland versus Hernandez. And that was arguably the most enjoyable fight this year so far. That's why Strickland got the title shot over him because he sells his fights, he's exciting. People want to watch Sean Strickland. Nobody wants to watch a guy sit at the press conference like Curtis Blaze and just sit there like this. No one wants it. The UFC's got fucking boring this year. Anyway, we're here to talk about the cards. Last week, the last one, which has gone down this year, so far in the first quarter of the year. Moicano versus Duncan. I mean, card was actually alright. Another Apex card that delivered. I'm putting it in the B tier. Main event was exciting. I thought Duncan would have fraud checked. Duncan would have got the upset win over Moicano. Didn't happen. Duncan got outstruck by Moicano. Out grappled as well. Moicano's a good grappler. I expected that, but I thought Duncan would outstrike him. Duncan had nothing for Moicano. Very fun main event, over pretty quickly. Duncan exposed Moicano. Incredible call out. Give Moicano a pin little hook or someone fun like that. Stop giving him Duncan. Don't give him Ortega. We have to match up Moicano with fun matchups or big prospects. Because he's a big name in the sport, whether you like it or not. Jandaroba Richie, that was a terrorist. Oh, shit. Jandaroba versus Richie, that was boring. I can accept that. That fight was shit. Jandaroba just out grappling Richie, just holding on for dear life. No damage done. No submission threats. Another boring Oliveira Holloway R fight. Yakayev looked good. Grappling wise on the feet was shit. Rivera was tagging him at range. Decent prospect win. He's 10-0. Him and Baroneski are the real only prospects. If you hear from my fucking TikTok, you can shut the fuck up now. I said Baroneski and Yakayev weren't prospects. Fucking hundreds of comments calling me a casual. They're okay, but they're never going to touch the belt. A real prospect, Ethan Ewing, destroyed Rafael Esteban. That was a good fight. However, he's very overrated right now. People are saying he goes out there and beats Jan Marab. Shut the fuck up. He's good. He's not beating anyone good yet. Terrence McKinney. Tommy McMillan was good on that card. He's never going to touch the belt, but he's a fun fighter. To be fair, I don't mind Tommy McMillan. He's overrated as fuck. He's never going to be any good, but he's a fun fight. We'll always bring it in a scrap. That was a good fight. Zacchini's a bottom of the barrel bum though. Thomas Peterson got an upset win over Pat. Pat, my mate Pat. I don't know why everyone was so high on Pat. I picked Pat. Thomas Peterson got the upset win. He may be shit, but he'll get the job done against these bums. Delano versus Richarlo, that was pretty mid. Richarlo threw the fight away by grabbing the cage. Pretty mid. Costa got a good body shot over Nickel. That was a good performance from Costa. Got a TKO win over Nickel. Alice Pereira got a nasty KO win over Melissa Cohen. That was good. And Trishan Gall got a massive upset win over Abzamat Bakoyev. That was impressive. Don't know why that was so early on the card, but the card was good overall. Like I said, these Apex cards are good, man. The Apex card have no hype, no real like build up because the UFC don't know how to promote their fights, whether they're good or not. They don't give a shit. Yeah, I thought the Apex cards delivered this year. For me, for sure, the worst fight of the year, so first card of the year so far is UFC 226. I was been disappointed with UFC London. I thought Adesanya versus Piper over delivered. And to be fair, this is what the UFC is now. The UFC is just mid. They're not going to be bummed. They're not. It's not going to be shit. It's just not really going to get you off your seat. Hopefully, we get an off your seat moment like Strickland versus Hernandez when Yuri destroys Allberg on Saturday night. But let me know what you guys think. What do you think? B, C, D. Do you think my rankings are good? Why would you put these cards? Yeah. Drop a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow on TikTok, subscribe. Yeah. Thank you again for watching. Goodbye.